Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ogden. We are a thriving lay-led congregation, and we're so happy you joined us on this very brisk and windy autumn morning. My name is Sarah Stiles, and I will be your worship associate today. By way of announcements, we have been invited by the First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City to join them at their auction fundraiser on Saturday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. So that is this coming Saturday, and it will be at their building down in Salt Lake. Registration information is in the news, and if you have any questions, please ask Dylan Zwick. That's the dude in the back. Our next in-person service will be held on October 30th at 10 a.m. and is titled Samhain, Honoring Those Who Have Come Before Us. We will have several special guest speakers share the history of Samhain and how they personally celebrate it. As part of the service, we do ask that you bring any special photos or mementos of people that have passed in your lives that you wish to alter. And we're going to be putting them on our little, we're going to call it our altar of love. And that way we can honor them more fully. So please, the next time we meet in 2 weeks, bring in your photos or mementos of your loved ones who have passed. Do we have any other announcements?
Is that going to be online also?
I believe so, yes. That one will be. Mm-hmm. Any other, Dylan, did you have any announcements that I missed? Nope. Okay. If you're new here, please know ours is a free faith. Whoever you are and whomever you love, you are welcome here. Those who attend here walk many paths and have many beliefs. In general, we believe there is no single religious truth and that life is a spiritual journey best experienced with others. We think that what matters is people and the way we treat each other and our planet. At this time, please silence all of your electronic devices, but feel free to post on social media during the service if you feel moved to share. You can even use our hashtag UUOgden. After the service today, please join us downstairs for coffee and conversation. To those who are new and to those who have found a spiritual home here, welcome. Thank you for coming today. We're so glad you're here. We pause this morning from the chaos of the world to reclaim the beauty within these walls that carry us through our week. Our chalice lighting words today come from Laura Horton Ludwig. Fire and water, ancient opposites. Sun and ocean, the cradle of life. Dancing flame and dancing river. We invoke them together today as we kindle our chalice flame. Ayalyn has agreed to come light the chalice for us. Ayalyn, please join us in lighting our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action. Thank you, Ayalyn. We will now have our opening hymn, number 145, in the gray hardback hymnal as Tranquil Streams. Normally at this time, we would have a reading, but I failed to put one together. Did you happen to come up with a? Yeah. So we are going to have a special musical reflection on the piano by Joseph Cook. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. Each year, as we gather in the fall, it is our custom to offer water as a symbol of our connection one to the other. It's been a couple of years. I hope you have been gathering your waters all this time. This morning, we will have 4 periods of sharing whatever water we have brought. We want to share with one another not only where our water comes from, but share what it means to us, what it symbolizes in our own lives. First, we will have a chance to share water that reminds us that while some have abundance, others struggle in scarcity. Second, we will share water that symbolizes travel, movement, and change. Third, we will share the water that reminds us of life's storms, our concerns, worries, frustrations, and losses. And finally, we'll share water that reminds us of the wellspring of our lives. Please don't worry about which time for sharing is the right time. The great thing about symbols is that they are always open to many interpretations. If you did not bring any of your own water, we have provided a pitcher of water down there. And when you come up to share, you may pour a little of that water in there. If you please notice the bowl, the big crystal bowl, that's where we will be pouring our water into. This container, empty of water, reminds us all of all who lack access to safe and affordable water. I dedicate this first water to begin our water communion with the symbol of our solidarity with all those around the world who are calling for the human right to water. I also pour out water for all those who have suffered losses this summer because of the continued drought. It's getting worse every year. If you would like to share water representing an awareness of scarcity in our community or our lives, please come forward using the center aisle, bring in your water and pour a little of your water in the common bowl. If you like, say a word or two about the significance of this water into the microphone. If you didn't bring any water, remember you may use a little of the water that's in the pitcher. You're always welcome to share silently. You do not need to speak to share.
So that water represents the lack of water in the big solid. It provides an ecosystem to all that live in the area. And, it's definitely a lack of water, and we have a need to have it full.
Unfortunately, the container I chose for my water leaked into my purse, so I have imaginary water today. But it represents I love being here in this church today. Thank you for being. Sorry, I live in Moab. I live in the desert. And I spend time on the reservation. And more time on that water. They haul their water still today. No rain on. So, as you said, so let me Maryland's sorry. Like the great salt lake from nature and furnish and pray for them. And take care of them.
This water sat in my cupboard all year, because last year at the water communion ceremony, it was online. And it got blessed, so it's blessed water from last year to celebrate coming together in person this year.
This water represents Claudia and my move back to Utah from Salem, Oregon, and being able to rejoin this UUCO community again that we were members of for a long time before we moved.
The second part of our water communion is the waters that carry us. Now I invite you to share waters that remind you of the changes and transformations in your lives. It seems like we've already begun. Thank you. Come up and share any water that represents any of those changes and transformations, your journeys, whether spiritual or physical.
To represent the Pacific Ocean. My daughters moved to California, and I was not risking getting ocean.
Good morning. So this water actually comes from this building, so kind of represents, everything that's going on with the church, the move, the, sale of the building. I guess maybe that represents a little bit of, this building in our gathered waters.
The letter I brought this morning is from my home that I moved into just a couple of years ago, when I married my wife, Kristen. And started our life.
This is my daughter Miriam's water. She is at the anime convention this morning, and it's her favorite time of the year. So I think this represents the way she transforms herself into some of her favorite characters. And it's wonderful to see the way she brightens the work that she does on these costumes she makes by hand. And she's able to kind of step out of herself for a little while and go be part of this community of people who are just intensely in love with Japanese animation. This water is in honor and as a representation of Karen and John. They've been on a vacation for a long time, I think about a month now. And they've been sharing their wonderful adventures on Facebook, on the group. I don't know if many of you do Facebook or see the pictures, but she's really keeping a great journal of their travels and pictures. And they're an integral part of our congregation, so I just wanted to share it in honor of them right now. This water, my family has been collecting for the last almost 3 years, I think. This is the jar that they gave us all that time ago in the hopes that we would be able to meet in person again and have to share this water. And we even have more water that will be coming. This water has been collected from all over. Some of it has come from mountains, the lakes and the streams. Some water is very unusual in that it comes from the animals that are cared for. Don't worry, we boil the water. Including alligators, turtles, the drinking water of some of my animals that I care for. And these are all things that mean so much to me and to my family in our lives. And it's such a wonderful feeling to be able to come and share that little piece of us with all of you.
That water that I just placed in the bowl is representative of so many things. I thought of Marilyn's daughter Debbie, who is now returning from Poland, member of the Army. I thought also of Carl Sagan and his thoughts about life and stardust And this water that's in that bowl is probably at least 4 billion years old.
Part 3, the water of storms. Now it is time to share water, symbolizing the storms in our lives, the concerns and sorrows, confusion and frustrations. Allow this vessel to be one of receiving and healing as it absorbs your storm. Again, you're welcome to say a word or two about the significance of the water, but you do not need to share if you do not feel comfortable doing so.
I'll put that in there to represent my parents who both passed this a few months back. They went to the UU church. Yeah, my dad was Catholic, turned over to the UU church and started bringing me. This was in Lincoln, Nebraska, as a teenager. So that's where my roots in the church stem from. And actually, at the end, I guess they even tired of the UU church, but still felt an affinity to it, and you know, it's what got me here today. So that's for them and for everyone else who suffered loss like that.
A lot of losses, that we've shared songs with friends this year. I brought Marion's water again, and I have her permission to share that, so in August during Joys and Sorrows, she got up and said, hey, that she hadn't even realized, Facebook had reminded her that morning that she was 10 years seizure-free, that was the date 10 years ago that she had her brain surgery, and they fixed the problem, and 2 weeks ago she had a seizure. So her first one in 10 years, and we don't know why. And it could be the same thing over again, and maybe another surgery in the future. It could be epilepsy. I'm just mostly sad for her that she's so sad. She was so proud and so excited and relieved. And to have that happen again out of nowhere was just really unexpected. So she's kind of grappling with that loss and could use lots of support.
When I think of the storms, when I hear the word storms, right now, I can't help but think of the recent hurricane that went through Florida. My family and I were just there only a month ago. And only a couple of weeks after we were there, Hurricane Ian blew through. And all the places that we visited were suddenly underwater. Things were destroyed. It is amazing to me to think how quickly things can change. How quickly lives can be altered. things destroyed. But what I love is how communities come together and take care of each other. People rush to their aid wherever it may be. In Moab, with all the flooding that we've had this summer, it's been incredible to witness. Sometimes we don't have enough water and sometimes we have a little too much, and it comes all at once. But I am so grateful for a community, whether it be a big community or a small community like ours, that comes together and always gives a helping hand when needed.
This water is for the people in Ukraine, for the tragedy that's happening there, and for the fear and anxiety that all those folks are going through. And I'm thankful for the world's support in helping them to get through this.
Part 4 of our water communion is the waters that sustain us. As we conclude our water communion, I invite you to bring water that reminds you of the well springs of your life, the water that sustains you when you are feeling empty, the joys that give you hope and buoy you up.
That's one for Bear Lake yesterday. And I think that nature sustains me and fills me up. And sometimes when life is just getting hard, I just know I need to drive a couple of hours, I need to go and see something beautiful. And then everything's gonna be okay.
As Sarah mentioned, we've been collecting this water for several years now, and so it's come from all sorts of places. But one of the things that that keeps coming up to me, and I think of all the places we got water from, where it comes from, is the thing that keeps coming up and in my memory is the places we went with family. And one of those places in particular, this last summer, we went to Duck Creek, Utah. Stayed in a cabin with my family, my parents, and many of my siblings, their kids, and everything. And we went out to one of the lakes, many lakes out there, and just hung out and skipped water and grabbed some of the water from that lake. And that time was very regenerative, and it's a reminder that for me, family is one of those things that can be a wellspring for my life, and so that's what stays in my memory for this.
So my wife and I have been dog sitting for the past week or so. An ancient golden retriever that belongs to a friend of ours. It has turned out to be a lot more spry and energetic than we imagined he would be, particularly around 2 or 3 a.m. And, he drinks an awful lot of water, but the reason that we've been doing this is that our friends just welcomed their first child. And so we were very excited about that. We were excited to get to meet them, and as one of the things that's sustainable.
I feel very sustained by looking at the youth today, we're much more like teens and twenties who, just if you look at Iran at the moment, are exhibiting amazing courage. I'm grateful that I don't think I could match at all, even under the same circumstances. And it's such an example, I think, to the rest of the world.
The water represents the water I didn't collect at the Great Salt Lake the other day. I went there explicitly to get some water. There wasn't any water. And so I dedicate that to the hope that we'll fill out the lake someday.
I am so grateful to be on this earth right now and to be surrounded by water, the life force. We have like 70% water, and we couldn't survive without it. So I'm very grateful for that. We just keep going everywhere and all directions.
Again, I mentioned the reservation. Sorry. It's so close to my heart. I want to say water is life. That is a mantra for the Indigenous community.
If anyone has any additional water to share, you may do so at this time.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This is really a very meaningful water community service. Thank you for saying. Our joys are great amid the chaos in the world. Not so bad, how it presents. The numbers are few here. So we have almost all of the pews, somebody in. But as the number of people weighs, and then there's a bunch of people. I'm grateful for the UUCO for its one, two, Tracy, and all the people that have a relationship with almost all of you that I see here.
Thank you to all those who have shared today. We will take this time now for personal reflection. Our reflection words today come from the Reverend Erica Barron. May you never thirst. May your body and your spirit always have what they need. When you are in need of refreshment or new life, may the waters be available to you. May you never know thirst unto death in your body or in your soul. May you never thirst. And may your body and your spirit always thirst enough to stay alive. May you know the dissatisfaction with things as they are that leads to works for justice. May you know the thirst for new knowledge that leads to the quest for truth. May you know the desire for deeper connection that creates new and stronger relationships. May you know the spiritual thirst that keeps the soul searching and gives the sweetness of new discovery to faithful followers of spiritual paths of all kinds. May you never thirst too deeply, but may your thirst never be entirely quenched. And now let us pause. We come here with our own circumstances and people close in our minds for reasons of joy or sorrow. Take a moment to speak their names aloud, lifting them up in our sacred place. Blessings on those named, and blessings too on those who named them. Join me now in silent meditation or prayer. May it be so, and blessed be. You are now invited to come forward to light a candle of hope, memory, or gratitude. You may also wish to drop a stone of burden or forgiveness into our sacred gathered waters. We now call for this morning's offering. Now please stand and body your voice and face the center aisle, singing together the offering song. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. We offer thanks for this generous offering. We bless it and promise to use it wisely to further the work of our church. Please remain standing as we sing our closing hymn, number 100 in your hardback hymnal, I've Got Peace Like a River.
We will sing verses 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So skipping number 4.
I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul, in my soul.
We hope that you have enjoyed the service today. Please join me now in extinguishing our chalice by saying together the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. May the waters gathered here remind us of what each of us brings to this community, and of the waters that nourished us before we were even born, that continue to give us sustenance and energy for our life's journeys and for all the creatures on this earth. Blessed be.